One of the most optimal solutions for creating multi-textured terrain systems is to use Splatmap-based materials. A Splatmap material allows a landscape to have up to 5 textures per Splatmap with full blending and fast performance of typically less than half a millisecond frame time. The following workflow allows for a Splatmap terrain system that can be changed during level design time and resplatted as often as required through the design process. In order to achieve a relatively low performance impact, auto materials typically only extract weight map data for altitude and slope. They cannot extract weight map data for the more complex terrain features including flow map, convexity, concavity, curves, and other filters. And they cannot easily extract composite weight map data, which can include such things as inverted concavity plus curve maximum. Auto materials also execute their code in real time every frame instead of being static and pre-calculated, which means that even though the terrain itself is now static in the game, the auto material is still being executed every frame. By comparison, a full-size landscape with a complex RGBAK splat map will use less than half a millisecond of frame time. When creating weight maps in TerreSculptor, it is beneficial to save the extractor property values within the weight map file name so that it is easy to re-extract the same weight map without having to write down or remember what the initial weight map properties were set to. The Splatmap file name can also contain the order of the weight maps for easier reconstruction of the Splatmap at a later time. When using Splatmap textured materials, it is still completely possible to edit the terrain and recreate the Splatmap again for the changes. In Unreal Engine 4, if the terrain has been hand-painted in any locations, simply export the Heightmap when all hand editing is complete and recreate the weight maps and Splatmap in TerreSculptor. In Unreal Engine 4, the landscape Heightmap is exported by choosing Export on the landscape Heightmap object. Save it to a PNG format file and re-import it into TerreSculptor to recreate the weight maps and Splatmap again. Use the weight map name properties to reconstruct the same weight map again for the modified landscape Heightmap. Use the Splatmap name properties to reconstruct the same Splatmap again for the modified landscape Heightmap. In UE4, select the Splatmap texture and re-import it to the latest version that includes all changes to the landscape Heightmap. This same workflow can be repeated as many times as required when modifying and hand-painting the landscape terrain, and the end result is an extremely fast, low frame impact, multi-textured terrain system.